everyone, and welcome to the Red Brick House. So today I am starting a series of videos where I will be making a ornament for my tree every week leading up into the Christmas holiday. And all of these will be made out of felt, and they will be a slow stitch / embroidery, maybe some applique. I just want this to be a fun and creative process in making these things. And so today I'm starting out with a bird, and I think this is going to be really fun. I'm going to do some slow stitching and a little bit of decorative stitching on this bird. Like I said, I'm going to be using felt, and today I'm going to be stuffing it with a little bit of stuffing and just some embroidery thread and your basic, needle, scissors, those kind of things. Those are the things you would need to do it in case you want to stitch along with me. And so I hope you enjoy this video, and let's get started. Okay, I have my table all set up here. So first I'll just show you some different pieces of felt. Now I bought all these felts at Michael's. They are acrylic. It's very hard to find actual wool felt without ordering it, and I wanted to kind of see the colors in person, because sometimes when you order colors they're not exactly what you think they're going to be. And so I just purchased these there. So I have this dark pink, which I think I'm going to be using today, and then I have this one, which is a metallic. It's so shiny. I think I'm going to incorporate this with my angel. And then I haven't decided on the other ones, but I just have kind of a light rose pink, kind of a dusty rose, or it's a little bit, yeah, I would say kind of a dusty rose. It might be brighter on camera. And this is just a pale pink, like a blush pink. So I thought these colors were pretty and that they would kind of match my Christmas decor this year. I don't think I mentioned it in the intro of this video. If you haven't watched my other Christmassy videos, I explained in those videos that last year I purchased some pink ornaments for my tree, and they're kind of like, I should bring them in here. I need to go get them out. I haven't decorated my tree yet, but I should get them out and bring them so you can see them. But they're so beautiful. They're like a velvety, dusty rose mauve kind of color. And I loved that. Up until then, I've always kind of done traditional Christmas things, but I wanted to try something new. And so I did that last year, and I loved it. And so that's why this year, all of the things that I'm making for Christmas are in this pink, purple, gold kind of color scheme. But I mean, you can use whatever colors you want. That is, just to your own liking. So today I'm going to be using this dark kind of magenta pink, and I purchased some new embroidery floss. Actually, no, these are my old ones. First of all, I found my old ones. I went through and picked out colors that I already had that I thought would be good for this project. And then I purchased a few new ones, because that's what I do. Every time I start a new kind of project, I'll kind of look at what I have and I'll just pick up a few new colors. So I picked up these, and they just look so romantic and antique to me, especially this one and this one. Those two colors just look beautiful. I love those. And then I got this darker color. Oh, my princess wants in the door. Hold on a minute. And then I bought these two metallics. I've never used metallic before. I've heard it's kind of hard to work with. So I'm going to give it a try, and we'll see what happens. I'm not doing a lot, but I thought it would be beautiful for some decorative stitching. So those are the colors that I have here. So I got, with those new ones plus my old ones, I have quite a few colors here. Okay, and now the sun wants to come out. It's been raining today. We had a cold front come in this morning, and it's actually chilly. It was in the 50s this morning. It was fantastic. That's been the first, 'cause it's just been so hot here. It was 80 something degrees yesterday, and now it's chilly, and it's wonderful, really. but I have the windows open because it's so nice, and I was hoping the sun wouldn't come out because it's gonna mess up my lighting. But anyway, it's okay. We'll roll with it. Oh, I also bought some ribbon. Now, this is a very small ribbon, and I bought this. Let me go ahead and open it so you can see it better. I got this at Michael's as well. I bought this ribbon for the purpose of hanging the ornaments. So I'll show it to you up close here so you can kind of see it. It's really pretty. It's really shiny and it's really stiff and it's wired. So I think it would be great for hanging ornaments. I don't know if it has a name, but I just thought it was really pretty. So that's what that's for. And it's quite a bit. I mean, it's 5 yards. So I think that'll be plenty for these little projects that I'm doing. So I'll be using these on all of my ornaments that I'm going to be making through the month of December. Okay, I am back with my little furry friend here. She's right over here. Hopefully she'll lay down and behave herself. Like I said, I have the windows open, so I hope there's not too much noise from outside because we do live in town, and sometimes there's loud trucks and, you know, sirens. I just heard a bunch of sirens going off, so glad you guys didn't have to hear that. But that's just how it is. Okay, so I am positioning my little bird here. I'm gonna cut out 2 of these. This is just a little bird that I drew. I found, I just looked at some different pictures and I drew this little wren, and I cut the feet off here because I didn't want that. She's gonna just hang like this, and I didn't want that there. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm gonna try to fold my fabric here, and because I want 2 of these, because I want to stuff this one. So I'm only doing the stitching on one side, not both sides. You could definitely decorate both sides if you want to, but one side of mine will be plain and the other side will be decorated, and hopefully I can just hang it on my tree where, you know, where it'll kind of stay in one place. Adrielle, don't touch my thread. Don't touch the thread. I don't want you getting that in your mouth. That could be bad. Okay, so I'm just pinning my paper stencil here down to my fabric, and I am going to cut around it. You know what I'm going to do first, so that this doesn't slip around, is I'm going to just cut a rough shape here, like that. Then I can put this away. And it's easier to hold like that. You could also do that around the bottom here too. Okay, so now I have 2 pieces right here. So I'm going to separate them, and I'm going to put this one aside with my little stencil. I'll put it away for later. And I'm going to work on this one. Now I'm going to bring you in closer so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. So I have matched up this thread. I think it looks pretty close to the color of the bird, and I'm going to start out with just a slow stitch running stitch. I want to give some texture to this little bird, and so I'm just going to keep it simple, and that's what I'm going to do. This one is going to be pretty simple, at least I think it's going to be. I say that now. But I'm just going to start, where do I want to start? I kind of want to start from the head. Now, my bird could go this direction. It might go this direction. I think it's going to be more easier for me to stitch if it's facing this way. So that means my template here will just go that way. Okay. my other side, I mean. Okay, so I'm just going to start right up here. Above, here's the beak. I'm going to start above where the eye will be. And I'm just going to do some running stitch. And that way, when I go to stitch these two pieces together, it'll kind of blend in, I think, and it won't stand out. Although, if you wanted it to stand out, you could totally do that. You could blanket stitch it. I think that would be cute, like when I go to stitch them together. That would be cute. I was planning just to running stitch them, but that would be cute too. A blanket stitch around here to put them both together. That would be really cute. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll probably do it off camera so this video won't be so terribly long, because you know, these projects like this, they can take some time. Okay, now I've finished all of my little running stitches and just gave this little bird some texture. I love how that looks. Now I'm just going to come across here in the wing area. Now this is a fantasy bird, so I'm not going to put a wing in, but I'm going... You want to be on camera. What are you doing, Azriel? What are you doing? Just sniffing everything. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to put some cross hatching in here. And so it'll maybe give a little more texture and kind of be similar to a wing. And then I'm probably going to do that right up here around the neck area, and then right where the wing area would be. And I might even do a little bit on the tail. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I'll start here at the neck. I'll start right up here. Maybe I'm just going to come across these stitches right here. Oops, I kind of went over a little bit. I'm not sure how this is going to look. I haven't done this before, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to do each individual one, so I'm not going to go across like a whole section of them. I want to do each individual one because I want it to look like little individual stitches. Hope you can see this okay. It looks blurry on my ends. I hope it's not really blurry. Sometimes that's just the app that I use so I can make sure that I'm seeing that I'm keeping my work in frame so everybody can see it. So, well, I don't know. It's not that bad. I kind of like it. It just gives a little more definition through there. Okay, so I have finished up all the little cross stitches that I did through here, and I really like that. I just think it gave it a little, just a little shading, kind of the idea of a wing, and just a little bit of shading there, a little more texture. I like it. And so I've started drawing on some little swirls because that's kind of what I want to do here. I just want to add some decorative stitching, but keep it simple. That's what I want to do. Now you can be as not simple as you want. You can be as intricate as you want, but I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to do another swirl right here, kind of on its neck. So where this line comes down right here, I'm just going to follow that line. And I'm using my fabric marker here, and I'm kind of turning as I go. I don't want to go into the wing for this. I don't want to go into my stitching there on that wing, but I'm just going to make a little swirl right here. I think that looks cute. And then I think I'm going to put, I want to do something down here at the bottom. I could bring off some, you could bring off some more little curly cues through here as well. You could do some different little designs here. If I don't like the way this looks, I can always just take it off. Maybe I'll make that one a little bit bigger so that it kind of curls like that. You could come off of this one and bring it up here like I said, I just don't know. I don't know how much I want to do. That might be too much. Okay, so I do want something down here, kind of on its belly. How do I want to do that? Just thinking here. I think I'm just going to bring a line up from here. I'm going to have to do this upside down. Okay. I'm trying to mark lightly too, because I don't want this to be very dark. Because this pencil is not very fine tipped, or this pen. I need some different marking pens. Please leave suggestions in the comments. If you have a pen or a chalk pen or something that you like to use, let me know. Okay, I think that looks really cute. Now, I do kind of want something else up here, so I am going to drag this out from here, and I could go this way. That's an idea too. But I'm going to bring it up here for one more little curly Q. And I know I'll bring this one out and curl it back the same way. Oop, that's a little big. Like that. There we go. I'm liking how that looks. Oh, this is fun and exciting. Okay. So, oh, I could keep going on and on with this. It's hard to know when to stop. I think I'm just going to bring that line down. I like that. Okay, so let me bring it in close so you can kind of see here what I did. So I just kind of drew my own design on there, and I'm going to use a different colored thread now. I'm going to use my more decorative thread. I still want to do more. I'm going to stop here because sometimes you want to do more and then you get like, it gets cluttered. So I'm going to stop there. I think that's good. And I'm just going to make this a simple like back stitch is what I'm going to do. But I am going to try out this pink metallic on here. Ooh, I think it's going to be so pretty. This is a DMC. It says E316. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to start right here on the edge and work my way down. I have a different needle here, a much bigger needle, and it's not working. It's kind of, well, it was hard on that felt. Yeah, it's hard to get through the felt with this needle, so I don't like that. I'm really going to have to switch that up and change something out there. But I'm going to give it a try. So here you can see I'm just taking a stitch, staying on my line there, and pulling it through. It's pretty. It's very pretty. So I'm just going to follow the lines that I drew. All while making a back stitch. I'm doing one stitch at a time so I can be very careful to stay on track here. I'll do one little swirl here with you guys on camera, and then I will go ahead and finish up the rest of it. Maybe all of the strands was quite a lot. But I did want it to stand out, and I think it's going to. I don't think that's going to be a problem. It's very shiny. Kind of second guessing my color choices in this thread here. I think it's kind of looking funny because of it's covering up the fabric marker, but you can kind of still see around the edges and it's making it look dark. So I don't know if I like that, and I don't know, can I, uh-oh, that doesn't look good. That got twisted. I don't know if I should, I don't know if I should use water on this metallic thread or not. Like, I don't know what will happen if I do. Hopefully it will hold up and it won't, like, I don't want the color to come off or something like that. But, oh, that one didn't really line up very well. But I'm trying here. Almost need to do like a stem stitch to keep this curved. So I'm trying to make small stitches. There we go. Okay. Well, there it is. I think it looks good. I'll bring it up close so you can see better. I think once it's all done, that's gonna look pretty cute. So I'm gonna keep going and working on my little bird here. And when I come back, then I'll put on the eye and the beak, and then that's all I'm gonna do to this little bird. Okay, I finished all of the little decorative stitching on here. I love it. I think it's so cute. I'm kind of wishing I would have maybe used the gold though. Maybe it would stand out a little bit better. But I'm hoping to use in the metallic, you know, when something's on the Christmas tree and you have the lights on the tree, sometimes it shines off of there. So I'm hoping that this thread will kind of catch the light when it's hanging on the tree. But for now, we're gonna give it an eye. It needs an eyeball. So I went through my buttons and I just found a button. I'm using a little red button, and I matched my thread to my button here. Now my eye is a little bit big for this bird, I think, but it was the smallest one I could find that I liked. So that's what I'm going to use because that's what I have. And so yeah, so I'm going to sew on this little button. I'm sure you probably already know how to sew on a button. You probably don't need me to show you, but I will put it on here. I'm trying to keep it from moving because it wants to move around some. And sewing on a button, that's kind of one of the first things you learn, I think. At least I did. It was one of the first things I ever learned to do when sewing. I'm just going to go over it maybe one more time. And I think that's good. And then I'm going to go over the beak right here. I think I'm going to use the same red thread that I have in my needle right now. And I'm going to kind of give a little definition in the beak. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do with this little bird. So let me trim that off. And then, like I said, I'm going to do a little definition in the beak. Okay, so now I have my little bird, my front side. Let me get the back. Now here I have the back side. Okay, so I'm going to put those two together, and I want all these little things to be tucked in. So I'm going to do my best. I could kind of stitch them down so that they'll stay in place. Let's see if this still lines up, because sometimes when you do a lot of stitch work, it makes your fabric kind of shrink down a little bit, but felt is pretty stretchy, so I think it will be okay. I still feel like I want something on this tail, but I don't know what. I think it's gonna get lost in the tree, but oh well, that's all I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm not doing any more stitching. So I'm gonna pin this together. Actually, let me pin it this direction because I don't want it to get in the way of my stitch work when I start piecing it together. And then I'm gonna pin it over here like that. It's okay if this back is a little bit bigger, since like I said, sometimes when you do a lot of stitch work, it tends to shrink your fabric a little bit, because when I put a little bit of stuffing in there in its body, it'll fill out. So I'm not going to do any trimming or anything. Okay, now I'm just going to keep the tail together like that. Okay, so I got my pins in there. And I thought about doing a blanket stitch around, but this eye is very close to the edge, so I am just going to do a very small running stitch. I made very small stitches, and I actually started down here, and I went up to the beak and around the head, and I have stopped right here at the back because I think I want to put this ribbon here. I think I want to put it inside, and I'm going to stitch through this little cross I have right here. So I've just taken the ribbon and I've just took out about as much as I thought I would need, and I just crisscrossed it right here. So I am going to put this inside the bird like that, and then I'm going to try to stitch through here as I'm stitching through my layers here. I think that will make it easier. Instead of trying to pull this ribbon, I'm actually gonna pull this down a little bit so that these are a little closer together. I think it'll make it easier to get into my bird here. Also, it'd help if I took this pin out. It's holding everything together. Okay, now I can get my finger in there, and I'm just gonna tuck that in there to where that crisscross is right below the surface. So you can kind of see there. I am going to have to hold it or pin it, one or the other. I think I'm just going to hold it about right there. Okay, so I can kind of see the crisscross is right here. So I can open that up and I can see that in there. So it actually needs to be pulled up a little bit. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to keep that in place here since I'm so close to it as I stitch. And I'm just going to stitch through that when I come to it. And these would make wonderful Christmas gifts. You know, it would make a great gift for a teacher, or it would make a great gift, you know, for a family member, for a grandmother. This would be a good, you know, project to do with kids, because kids are so creative, and children are just kind of not stifled by, you know, what things look like. So their artwork is so genuine, and their creativity is just magnificent. So this would be an excellent activity for children to do. It's kind of hard to get through that ribbon, but I'm doing it here. I'm doing it. I'm actually going to do it twice. I'm going to come back up in that stitch. So I'm just going to basically go over the same stitch I just did again. And I'm actually going to make it a little bigger so I can make sure I'm going through both layers of that ribbon, because I really want it in there really, really well. And that's all there is to it. I'm just going to keep stitching around now. And now it's closed in there, and I don't have to worry about pulling it through at the end. So now I'm just going to keep going around until I get to down here, and then we'll put the stuffing in. Okay, I've got it all sewn together. Now I'm just going to open this up right here and just stick in just a little bit of fluff. Now I have here some polyfill. I'm just going to, I mean, it's not going to take much at all, you guys. You could fill this, honestly, I could get out my thread scraps and you could fill it with that because mine is pretty small. So I'm just going to be pretty gentle here. Could use like a pencil or something as well. And I don't want a ton of stuffing. I don't want it to look too full. Oh, I have my needle stuck in there. Okay. So I'm actually going to kind of spread that out. I'm going to use this thing, my marker. Try to like kind of spread it out. It's kind of in a ball where it's kind of thick. There we go. So you just got to manipulate it around to how you want it and how thick you want it. I don't want a lot in mine. I just want a little bit of puff. That's all. Just a tiny bit of stuffing. There we go. And the head and I think the body are okay. I want to move this a tiny bit back here into its tail area. So I'm just moving it with my thumb is all I'm doing. Okay, and then this last little bit I'm gonna put right down here in the belly of my bird. And I think I'm all done. Just gotta finish stitching it up. It's cute. Oh, I'm liking it. It's really coming together quite nicely. There. And then you can kind of give it a good smush, you know, move it around a little. Give it a bit of a smush after you get everything sewn in, because I think it needs more up there. Okay. Or you can kind of mash it down a little bit if it's too puffy. There. Because once I stitch it down, I'll have to kind of maneuver it a little bit. But I think that's all I want. And now I'm just going to stitch it up. It will be a little bit more tricky with the stuffing in there. I'm kind of tightening up my thread because it's kind of tightened, it's kind of pulled as I have put the stuffing in. And I'm just going back and forth like a stab stitch through here because it's just easier that way. There's a lot of layers to go through and there's nothing wrong with doing it that way, I don't think, if it's easier, which is definitely easier for me. I got that metallic thread really close to that edge, so I'm trying to kind of go under that metallic thread because I definitely want to get that tacked down there because I don't want any stuffing showing through. So that's one reason why I'm doing like super small stitches. Here when I finish it, I will bring it up close to the camera so you can see it really up close. I've also been tucking in any stray threads. I've been tucking in and stitching down as I go as well. I did make a mistake and I started my knot right there. I should have started my knot. So you can see my knot right there. I wish I would have done it in between these layers of fabric. And I just didn't think about it. I was just ready to stitch. Okay, so I'm going to do one more little stitch there and pull it kind of tight. And now I'm gonna, where that knot is, I'm going to kind of go through that knot and I'm going to bring it up in between though. This is kind of tricky to do because I've pulled it pretty tight. So I'm going to bring my needle up through those layers of fabric. Is it blurry? Okay, I hope that's clear. I can't tell if my camera's focused or not. Okay, I'm going to bring that up and then I'm just going to do some stitches underneath here to hold that down. I'll do 2 or 3. Make sure it's good and secure. One more time. Oh, sorry, you can't see me. I apologize. Okay, there we go. I think that is secure, and I'm going to trim it off. There we go. And now we have a cute little bird ornament. Let me maneuver this. I really am happy with this wired ribbon. Let me bring it back out. I'm really happy with this wired ribbon because I'm gonna put something. I wonder if I have. Oh, I know. Let me take the back of this. There. I think you can see it better now. I didn't feel like you could see it very well on this cutting board. So I think that's a better background here. So I really like that you can manipulate this. I didn't know that they sold this thin of wire like this, and I mean ribbon, this thin of ribbon with wire in it. I've always just used the big wired ribbon, and then the small ribbon like this, but this is nice because then you can kind of manipulate it how you want it. And so I hope you've enjoyed that. I am happy with how it turned out. Let me show you the other side. It's just plain, but it's still cute. But you could decorate this side too if you wanted to. I didn't do it because I didn't want this video to be too long. And I felt like if I did it on my own without showing you how I did it, that it might, you know, you might not like that. I mean, you could decorate, you could do the exact same thing here. You can mirror that on the other side, or you could do something totally different on this side. It's like strictly up to you and your creativity. And that's what I love about these projects. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this gives you an idea. If you stitched along with me, let me know, because I would just love to know if you did that. If I have people doing that with me on a regular basis, I may, you know, create like an Instagram account or have a Facebook group or something like that in the future. I'm not sure, but let me know what you think of this, and like and subscribe if you'd like to. It would be the best Christmas gift ever for me if you did. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.